Welcome to CAD 120, and in today's lesson we're going to start by getting into Revit. And Revit 2016 is an architectural software that is used in industry to design structures. There's many different things you can build with this. You can build residential or commercial buildings with this software, and it's a very advanced program that you'll really enjoy. So first, in this lesson this week, we're going to start out with how to build walls and how to place them into this software. And you notice the first thing I did was opened up Revit 2016, and you'll come up to this screen right here. Now, first thing I want to do is we're going to design residentially. So I come up here to architectural template. Takes a few seconds to load, and when it gets loaded in, it'll look just like this. Now, one thing I really want you to pay attention to is make sure that you have your properties and your project browser in here. Now, if you just have this screen right here like that, you make sure that you get these on there by doing this. Come over to Modify, or actually View. It's in View, and slide over when you're in the View tab to User Interface, and you can turn them on. You see how it's check marked for properties, and then Project Browser is checked on. Make sure those are checked. And if they are and they're up, you're in good shape. But you have to have these to be able to work in these drawings. Now, I want to slip back over here to my Architecture tab. This lets me draw in the Architecture side of things. This is the structure if you're working on structural types of disciplines. And there's all kinds of things we'll get into a little bit later. But right now we're in architecture. And if you look down here at the project browser as well, you see that it says floor plans, it has ceiling plans and elevations. Well, whenever we pick the architectural template, it automatically gives us these different categories. So as you see, it's already given us a level 1, so that's what you want to be in, and that's what you're in right now. You see it's kind of bolded. If I double click level 2, it'll put me there, but I want to be in level 1. And we're going to start drawing up a basic floor plan. And what I want to do is I want to move this to the side, and I've got a little image of something that's been hand drawn out. And I'll put them side by side here. And you can see this is a pretty simple little 20 foot by 28, must be a little cabin or something. And inside your Revit, again, you have different commands for viewing. If you've got a wheel on your mouse, you can just roll it back and forth and it'll pan it back and forth. If you smash your wheel down on your mouse, you can actually pan it over. But if you don't have a wheel on your mouse, you've got the buttons right over here that you can do the same stuff with. There's zoom in and out. Zoom out 2 times. And you just have to get in there and kind of toy around with those and see what they're all about. But if you don't have, but I recommend if you've got a mouse that has a wheel, or I recommend you going and purchasing one because it makes the design process a lot easier. All right, we're going to get started. First thing I want to do is I want to build a wall out here. Now this one, I don't have anything specified. Let's say it's a 2x4 wall. All right, and so it's 2x4 wall, and we have a 1/2 inch sheetrock on the outside. Let's say we got a 3/4 inch outside board here, and the corners will be wood, plywood, and in between could be insulation, and then on the outside we could do siding or something to that effect. And I'll show you how to do that. So I come up here and I want to create myself a wall. Now I want to click on this and click the architectural wall, and when I do that, right here in properties it shows me all the different walls that's defaulted, and you got tons of different walls here to work with. Now I don't have one on here that's specific to what I want, so I'm going to find something that is fairly close. And this one is not even really fairly close. Let's see in you. How about we'll do brick on metal stud. Click on that one. And when you do that, click on, because I don't want this. The only thing I want is just some siding on the outside of it. So come in here and hit edit. And what you're wanting to do is you're taking this brick on metal stud and you're just going to manipulate it. But to do so, hit duplicate. And what that is, you're making a copy of this brick on metal stud. And I want to call this one I'll just say siding on wood stud. And I want to make sure that I'll put 2x4 so I know exactly what I'm looking at. So just hit OK on that, and you'll notice how now there's my copy name. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to revise this a little bit. So I hit edit, and this right here is all my materials in that wall. I have a finished layer of brick on the original one that I copied. I don't want that. And I've got a 3-inch air gap, which that's a little bit huge there, but we don't need that. But I'm going to show you something. If I hit preview, it actually shows me the wall in a plan view. This would be the brick, this would be the air gap, that would be the plywood on the outside, this would be the wood stud, and this would be the sheetrock. You see that? So what I want to do is, I don't want the brick. I want some siding, and I just got to go in here and find it. Might be easier. Sometimes it takes a while to go in here and find some of this stuff. It probably will be called clapboard. And if you can't see it right offhand when you're going down through, you can hit up here, search. There it is. Y'all see it pop up down here? Just double click it. Whenever you do that, come back up here to this one, double click it. And see now siding clapboard, and we'll just change it to 3/4 of an inch or whatever size it is. Right here is we don't need that thermal air gap anymore, so I'm just going to delete that out. You can see now there's the siding. The air gap's gone. You'll have a membrane, and that's going to be your weather wrap that goes around. Then here is the plywood, 3/4 inch, perfect. And now it's got a metal stud. We want a wood stud, so just click on that little radio button, come back over here, and softwood lumber, perfect, that'll work. All right. And again, you're going to use actual numbers. Now on a 2x4, that's not the actual size of a 2x4. They call it 2x4. It's a nominal size, but actually a 2x4 is 3.5 or 1.5 by 3.5. So this would be 3.5 inches. So that gets that. Okay, and then the gypsum board, of course, gypsum board is the same as sheetrock. So just hit OK on that, and there's our wall. And only you have to see now how it's loaded up. You just have to open it up and see right here, most recent use type, and right there's that stud that we just made. And the best way to get started with this, don't worry about anything else, just take off. And again, we just go back up here, hit architecture wall. We've already made our wall, and there it is. If you can't find it, open it up, and it'll be right there. And you just take off drawing. Now this thing is 20 foot by 28. So I'll do, just type in 20, and come over this way, 28, back up, and it'll actually catch itself, and then back over and click. So there we go. Now, what I want to do at this time is we've got the exterior walls in, but we got to make sure they're exactly 28 foot. Now, all you have to do is come up here to annotate. This is what I like to do. Hit aligned and just click on that wall to this wall. Now it's really important to understand how you do measurements on a residential structure. You always take the exterior measurements, wall measurements from the outside edges, okay, all the way from the outside, and it's only going to be the portion of the house that is the frame, which includes the 2x4, and then you got the 3/4 inch wood on the outside. That's where you're taking your measurements. You don't measure from the siding, and you'll notice on this one, you see how it's right in the center of that line, which would be probably on the outside of that 3/4 inch siding. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set this thing up, go back there and fix this wall. Okay, I want to take off that siding so that it doesn't mess us up. We can put the siding back on before we do a rendering, but just so that we've actually got the measurement on the frame, because that's whenever they come in to build this thing, the actual frame is the main thing. We're not worried about siding. Right here's your siding. Y'all see that? So we're really not concerned about that at the time being. We're really concerned about this wood frame. Or you can either take that off, or you can adjust it by measuring it on this. And I think it'd be easier probably just take it off for this time being. Come in here, and I hit edit again. Click on one of these walls and hit edit. Come over here to edit, and that right there, that 3/4, we can always add that in later. I'm just going to hit delete right now on that. It's gone. And we'll add that in before we do a rendering to make it nice and pretty. But now we don't have to worry about our measurements being skewed. Now, when I put that alignment in, and I clicked on this to measure this to this, you see how it puts it in the center? If you want it to be on the edge, just click on this center button. It'll move it to one of the edges. You want to be on the outside, and now see it's 28 foot and 4 3/4. All you have to do to get that exactly where you want it is click on the wall that you want to move, and come up here and click on that and change that to 28. You see that? Again, with annotate, hit align. Make sure you get on your edges. And when we change that one wall, it changed all the walls, because we changed that wall, and any part of it that you used inside the program, it automatically updates all of them. Makes it pretty nice. So I want to make this 20 foot. You click on one of the walls you want to move. Just come up here and see how it's got one here. It'll do that. When you click on something, it'll bring up dimensions to change. But we already got ours selected. We already done that. So at 20, click off of it, and there's 20 foot. So our exterior's done now. Now let's add in our interior wall. So again, go to architecture. It's the same song and dance. Click on the down arrow on the wall and hit architecture, wall architecture. And on this one, I want to do an interior wall. So we gotta make it, unless there's one in here I can find, but I don't see any of those. So I'm just going to grab this one right here, click on it, and hit edit. And it does have sheetrock and looks like a stud in there. So I'm going to take and duplicate, and I'm going to call this one my interior 2x4 wall. Okay. So now we changed the name. We've done a copy. We duplicated it. Now I want to change some of the features on it. So it's got a 5/8 inch gypsum wall, which is sheetrock. So I want to change that to 3/4 or a 1/2 inch. Metal stud, I want to change that to a wood stud. And again, I like to just use the soft lumber right there. And change that. Of course, the 2x4, its actual size is 3.5 inches. And then a gypsum wall right here that needs to be a 1/2 inch sheetrock on that as well. And you can see that everything should be changed in good shape. So hit OK on that. Right there it is. And now we're going to add some interior walls in. And you all can see on this right here how the dimensions are laid out, how the dimensions are on the outside. And then for the exterior walls, interior walls you dimension from the center of the wall. Y'all see that? So I've got a few walls to add in here. I want to come up here to architecture. Wall architecture. There's my interior 2x4 wall. If I couldn't find it, just click on it. I come down here and find it. But I want to come over here now, and I'm just going to just throw in these walls. I'm not too worried about where they're located or anything. I'm just eyeballing it. You can hit escape. Escape gets you out of the command. I want to click on this wall, and I can actually grab this grip and I can pull this. Y'all see that? And then I'm going to do me another wall, interior wall. I'm going to come right down through here with it. And it looks like it stops right there. You can either pull this back like that, or there is another command in your modify. Alright, if you want to modify something here, you can come up to modify, and you can click on wall, that's not it, right here, modify, here it is, trim. Click on it, click on the walls that you want to keep, and see how it trims it off. Either way you want to do it, it doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensions on this right now. And to do so, 6 foot from that edge to the center of this one. So all you have to do is, like I've shown you earlier, if you click on it, see how it automatically brings up numbers for you? So I want to be on the exterior part here, so I zoom in with my wheel, click on that, takes it to the outside. This one's in the center. I just click on that, type in 6. She's there. Perfect. The next one is going from the center of this to the center of this, and this one's set. Okay, we've got it. So if I click this, it will move this over. You see where it's supposed to be 9. If I click here and hit 9, you see how it moves the wall? We don't want that. We want to move this wall. So I want to get this one back to its normal state, which is 6, and just click off of it. Come up here and click this wall, and you want to change it to 9. Just like that. Now, what I do is, what else we've got? We'll go ahead and put the rest of these walls in. There's a wall coming down through here, over, down. So I want to hit architecture again, do my walls, and I'm just going to eyeball it, bring it down, bring that over. I want to click on this wall, and I want to bring it straight down. And then I want to hit wall again, catch that end point, bring it straight over, grab that wall, I can pull it straight down till it touches, and I think it's easier just to pull the wall till it snaps. All we got to do at this point is just add some dimensions into it. Up the top it says 3 foot over, and I'm sure that's going to the center. It don't look, somebody just hand draw that in. So I'm going to hit annotate, or I can hit annotate, or I can just click on the wall. And you all see now, coming off this wall here in the center, it's 3 foot over. So I want to move this wall over 3, so click on it, type in 3. We got that. Alright. And click on this wall, and it looks like 6 foot. Now I'm not for sure on this area. They've got it going to the interior there, it looks like. So that's probably what we'll have to do is click on that, and that's from there to the It looks like it's coming to the outside of this. Type in 6. Alright. And now we've got to figure out exactly what this dimension is right there from those two areas there. Now there looks like a door of 26 inches. I don't have a measurement, so trying to see if I can spot one. That's going to the center of that window. So I really don't have a dimension, so it must be closets. So we're just going to throw in a number here, and I'm going to show you a cool thing. I want to center this thing up and have these closets equally spaced. Click on this, and you see this little button right here? If these are temporary dimensions, when you click on them and they come up like this, if you want to make them temporary like these, you click on this button right there.